Now this is a spot that is right down the road from a wooden physical home, a place on the earth, on this planet that I am blessed to call my physical home. And yet, although I've been staying there for a few years, I haven't been here to this particular spot. And as I'm walking, I'm thinking, actually simply observing, not really thinking, but I brought the phone in the backpack in case the inspiration arises to make a video, as I am now. Because who knows when the spirit wants to come out, wants to express itself. And as I'm walking and observing, it's really mind-boggling. It's beyond the mind. Simply the profoundness of Mother Earth, that connectedness, that heart sense blessedness and aliveness when we get out here and connect, bare feet on the ground, perhaps simply sitting under a tree. And what's the moral of the story? Well, although, again, I've been staying at that tiny wooden home in the middle of nowhere for a few years, I haven't been here. And as I'm walking and observing, I realize God is always here, wherever I am. Now, this ground, where I stand now, is always holy ground. Because this physical form, this vessel, this physical vehicle that we call the human body, the blessing it is to incarnate, to be given the gift of this human organism, this is simply a piece of the planet. And when we intentionally connect with it, we realize that the realization beyond words, beyond verbal communication. It's a subjective communication, an inherent knowing that doesn't need linear language to help connect the dots, because the dots are already connected. Everything is whole and complete. All is here now. This is a natural consequence, as your subjective experience is very profound. The kingdom of heaven is within you. And of course, at first, one may believe that there's a difference between within and without. But ultimately, when they come full circle, when they connect the dots, they see the bigger picture, and the whole picture is colored in, there's that clear, open connection. Wow, synchronicity. Happen to stop right here, and the sun, the light, what is an angel but an angle of light shining upon the third eye? Rainbow. I'm hoping you can see it now as I see it. This rainbow, this angle of light, symbolic of the linga, the chakra system within the human organism. Actually, the chakras are not something you can tangibly, visibly see. You cut open the body, you're not going to find chakras because they're spiritual energy centers along the spine. And the rainbow is symbolic when you look up in the sky, symbolic of God's promise. Or perhaps it's an angle of light, as you just witnessed. All spiritual energy centers are lit up and alive, from the root, the red, the whole spectrum, the whole pillar of light, all the way up to the crown, the white, purple, that universal cosmic connection to the cosmic energy, where we transcend the physical body into this superconscious state. We can affirm now, I am able to tap into, to tune into, to harmonically attune to the superconscious state, regardless of any distractions. I am able to tune into the inner realms, which are fairer than the Eden pristine, way better than outward sounds and scenes. Of course, God's creation is beautiful, is wonderful, phenomenal. But what is beyond the sound, the vibration, the syllables, the sound syllables, a force that is unconditional, a love that is so profound that, again, you can't describe it. You can deeply feel it. And that feeling is the bridge between being it, between truly, viscerally knowing it. The feeling is the secret. And thus we want our hearts to be open. We want the heart chakra to be open and active and receptive. And this is a natural consequence of abstinence. When you consciously retain your sexual essence, there's that, again, profound sense of connectedness with all the world around us. And there's an inherent knowingness that there's something beyond this. There's that longing for ultimate transcendence, boundlessness, timelessness, formlessness. Something, again, beyond all verbiage, beyond all words, explanations, descriptions, beyond all analysis. Because as soon as you try to grasp this, try to grab it, hold on to it, explain it, predict it, plan it, you lose sight of it. Because the ultimate is founded when you're silent, when you're simply, humbly aware, and you sit still and silent. That is the secret. Be still and know that I am God. Wherever you are, wherever your physical body happens to be, I am with you eternally. I can never leave you. I am forever within you. Whatever point you're at on the spiritual journey, your ultimate destination is me. This is not blasphemous. This is an open candidness, spoken with sincereness. And I am simultaneously speaking with seriousness. Because when divinity is our top priority, then naturally we see all of reality as an emanation of this divine oneness and harmony. We never view ourselves as existing separately, as if I were a separate body from the collective of all of humanity. We're in this together. When you really feel that, and you see all the world as your brothers and sisters, you're not limited to a local family, a few individuals. And your intent is the upliftment, to help those around you reach the state of spiritual enlightenment. And of course, there's not a fixed enlightenment. There's progressive levels. By no means is Alex perfect. There's a lot of room for growth. There's always room for growth. I speak to you now, aware that I'm a lifetime student. I am. Every time you say I am, you want to be aware, because I am is a statement of awareness. We're attaching our sense of beingness, our sense of existence, life, onto something. We're identifying with something every time we say I am. So this statement, I am a lifetime student, is an expression of humility, saying that, hey, I've by no means reached the ultimate point on my spiritual journey. I'm certainly better than nobody. I don't want you to view me separately, put me on a pedestal, see me as an idol. No, that's contradictory to the teachings of the Bible. And of course, any religion or teaching or wisdom, tradition that's rooted in truth, because truth is independent of circumstances, culture, personal identifications. It's true at all times and places. And therefore, when you're truth, when you're a living embodiment of the truth, when you practice what you preach, which gives you confidence, true confidence is not the result of worldly achievements or success or outward status, how people perceive you. Actually, true confidence comes from within. True power is a spiritual light realized within. And it's a result of your alignment with higher energy attractor patterns, with higher energy frequencies, with living with integrity, practicing what you preach again, because then nobody can tell you anything. Not that you're not open and say, hey, I'm willing to hear somebody out, whatever they have to say, to see if there's any shred of truth in it. But nobody's going to convince me not to be abstinent. That's already a choice that the Lord has blessed me with. Has chosen me to be celibate, remain eternally abstinent. That's just an example, not to make it about me. But if you want to see exponential growth on your spiritual journey, well, this is not something that I've personally made up. But when you remain abstinent, make that definite, absolute commitment. Nothing in the world can sway you from it, can deter you from it, can tempt you to stray away from it. And I promise you this, This is not Alex's promise, but God's promise. That every day that you exist on this planet, aware from within a body, you're growing exponentially on your spiritual journey. You're building more of the spirit up within you. Each day that you don't sway from your vow. Recently saw a video about Samson and Delilah. And we're all familiar with the story. Well, I say a lot of us are familiar with the story of how Samson lost his power after Delilah cut his locks. She was able to break his aura, get close to him, and cut his locks because he slept with her. He released his seed. I'd say he broke his vow. Didn't stay true to his commitment. And that's what it says biblically. He lost his power because she cut his hair. But the truth is that he lost his power because he lost his seed. Seed with a capital S. The seed of life, eternal life. God within us. The essence that connects us is the nexus to our soul awareness, to ultimately to infinite intelligence. What is animating all of this? What is giving life? Giving eternal birth to everything, where there is no death. There is no duality between birth and death. Because everything is continuously, spontaneously being burst into existence. This is true within a certain context, only when you identify, when you realize within you the deathless, infinite essence. Again, which is founded in silence. So, what is the intent? Why do I speak this? Well, to share this, because a lot of us, again, are at different points on the spiritual journey, and certain concepts can help us pivot, change, do the 180-degree shift, to focus our attention, our awareness inwardly, and thus to pursue, seek God consciously. Make this our top priority. Make the spiritual journey our fundamental purpose. All worldly achievements are simply stepping stones on the way to that ultimate goal with the big G. All the other goals, all the worldly goals are goals with a small g. And when you see things as such, then nothing can make you stray from the awareness, continuous God consciousness. God bless. Christ is my rock. He's your rock too, even if you don't know him. Believe me, if you go within, you'll know him more and more so every day. He might just surprise you. Today, now. You could be very down in the dumps, and Christ is knocking at the door of your heart. Within a split second, heaven and hell are less than an inch apart. At any moment, any split second, he can permeate your whole physical vessel and open you up into a profound, expanded state of awareness where there's that eternal, continuous sense of connectedness. There's the bliss of perpetual God consciousness. That feeling, that knowing of looking into someone else's eye. And feeling them within yourself. Seeing them not as a separate self, but as the one self. The self with a capital S. Where there's never a sense of separateness between you and the fundamental light of awareness, where there's ever new joyousness. Anybody can get on here, bug got me, and share themselves when they're at their best. But the true test is the choices you make, the decisions you make, your actions when nobody's watching, when you think nobody is seeing. But know that God is always watching. You may think that, hey, I can get away with this, and yeah, you might get away with it in terms of the cops or worldly authorities or your parents or your teachers or whatever. But if you cheat on an examination, teacher may not see you, but your subconscious mind is always aware, awake and alive. And what is that which is beyond time? When we realize that when our soul leaves this physical body, the thing that truly matters is how we treated others. If no one I want to be aware of certain words. But, because we don't want to negate a positive statement. You may say, oh, I'm doing this great thing today. But, chuck the but. Because as soon as you say but, you're about to take away that positive affirmation. You may say, I am now, present, I am cured today. However, chuck the if. Because we want to be conscious that your mental statements are ever molding a physical reality. The destiny of your physical body. And so, I want to be perpetually aware of mental activity. Because as you elevate in frequency and level up in consciousness, your statements become all the more powerful. And you realize that simply holding a thought in mind can instantly manifest it in your immediate environment. But this is possible only when there's no self-image present, when there's no sense of separate identity between me and divinity. Everything in reality is seen as an extension of the one. Where again, there is no separation.